You know, we are celebrating Youth Month here in South Africa, Sims, and we celebrate it by paying homage to the class of 76 who, of course, fought for the freedom and education that the youth today has benefited from. Now, not only that, but these youth also paved the way for the opportunities that we can take on. This month, we'll be profiling young people who are working hard and making a difference in their surroundings in whatever industry that they are in. Right now, you may know or may not know his name, or maybe you've seen his face somewhere, but I'm sure you've come across his work. At the age of 28, Legend Manqele, the brains behind most reality shows here in South Africa, spoke to us earlier in the week, and this is what he had to say.
You know, when you grow up, obviously you're not thinking, what is it like, what's happening? So whenever I'm asked to look back, I always say I was happy. Just like anyone growing up, you have a lot of questions about life, where you'll end up, what you'll end up doing, will your life be significant? So those were the questions in my head as a young kid. I think I've always been obsessed with the future.
After school, you decided to venture into acting. How did that come about?
I've always wanted to be in the TV and film industry. I've always had this thing inside of me, you call it a voice, this thing that always just wanted me to create, to use what I had, and what I had at the time was my body. I had my brain, I had all these things that I could do. I could do accents, I could, you know, reenact certain situations. I was a very good storyteller growing up. So I thought to myself, well, if this is my gift, this is the only thing that really makes sense. How do you tell your parents that you want to direct when they don't know what a director is? Or that you want to produce when they don't know what a producer is? You just sort of say, trust me, I've got this. You know, I think the one big thing was that I was lucky for my parents not to afford me a tertiary education. I was very lucky, because that meant that I then owned my own conversation. I owned myself after high school. They basically said, after high school, we cannot afford any form of tertiary education. So I think looking back, that's an actual plus, because I got to really do whatever I wanted to do. And, you know, it led me here, actually. So, yeah, this is the first time I realized this. Actually, it was a blessing not to be able to afford tertiary, because I got to own my own narrative. I got to be independent at a young age.
Let's talk about Bar Leaders. How did that come about?
Bar Leader for me is a big prayer come true. You know, I started it off when I was 26, and did corporate jobs here and there, did the odd inserts, did the odd little thing there, up until I built a proper company, you know. Bar Leader is a new voice in the industry. I call it the hybrid vigor. It's silent, but it's impactful, I think. Bar Leader is my dream. Like, I'm living my dream. I think the biggest thing about this company is that it's here to serve. It's here to give light to those who need it. You know, for a very long time in the industry, I've always been somebody next to someone, and that's my role, to make the main guy shine. You know, through my producing and through my directing, I've made sure that whether it was a presenter that I was working with, or a celebrity or a musician, I've made sure that this company becomes an extension of that, an extension of myself, to make sure that we provide a very, very good service to the consumer, the customer, the audience.
And what are some of the challenges that you were faced with?
I think I go through challenges every day, you know. The challenge to grow is a big one. When you're called to really, really grow, that is a big challenge. When, you know, when you're in a safe place, it's a big challenge to be called for the big thing, for the big dream. So in that, in the sake of not being generic, I think things like money are a problem. Not now, but they were in the beginning. Things like being on trend are a problem, because you need to understand that as a company or as somebody who's this young, I need to know what's relevant. I'm hiring people who have degrees. I'm hiring people who are much more older than me. You know, I'm talking in the 40s. That's a big challenge for a 27-year-old. It's a big challenge for a 26-year-old. It's a big challenge for a 28-year-old. So the challenge is forever going, because some of the big heroes that I work with are old. They are veterans in this industry.